Specifically on this call, we're going to talk about your first three fix and flip deals, which totaled $440,000 in net profit. Guys, listen to this. 3 deals, $440,000 in net profit.
Go to 8weekacademy.com to claim your free copy of Jerry Norton's most popular training. In it, he reveals his blueprint for making $100,000 per year with real estate.
So Ed, thank you for taking the time to share your experience, your journey. And it's been kind of fun because you came through my mentor program. When was it? About a year ago?
Year and a half ago.
And so you've been going through this journey right now. You're working on your 4th fix and flip right now. So maybe we'll have a little time and talk about what that deal looks like. But Ed, maybe share with us first when you started on your journey of exploring, learning, getting educated, and then we'll talk about from there when you took action. So let's start with there. How'd you get your start?
Well, my start with real estate, I always been fascinated and always wanted to watch the shows on TV about flipping houses and stuff, but I thought it was like out of this world. I thought only rich people did this. How I started is just I started Googling because I always wanted to become rich. That's one of my things. I want to be wealthy, financial free. That's been one of my goals. So I started researching on YouTube how to become wealthy, how to become rich, pretty much. And I looked through some videos, but the videos that really caught my attention was your videos, Jared Norton, flipping houses, how to start wholesaling and everything. So when I first watched your first video, I was hooked. That was in 2019. So for a whole year, I watched your videos day and night. I will stay up late watching your videos instead of watching TV or whatever. And I was just hooked at work. I worked at a body shop for 11 years and I will play them there, every single one. And I wish those videos were longer because 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, I have to stand up and go click another video and look for another one. So I watched your entire videos and I still watch them now. So that's how I got started. And then I took your fast track in 2020.
And you hadn't done your first deal yet, right?
Correct. No, I have not done anything. I was not taking action. For me, I was like, okay, let me take this. It was so worth it. The money was worth it, everything, the whole experience, because it's got me to where I am now. Fast forward, I took your class. I started taking action, started calling agents, started making offers. Like you said, I will call my breaks at work. I will call and just keep making offers and keep making those relationships. An agent, I forgot his name. He gave me a call back and said, hey, Ed, I forgot his name, James. It's James. You told me to give you a call back if I came across anything. And that's what I'm doing right now. I have this house that needs a lot of repairs. I don't know if it's worth it for you, but so he called me. He's like, don't go to the house yet. He didn't have it under contract yet because she wouldn't sign with him.
He didn't have the listing agreement.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. After him, I was on the phones. We did it for a couple of weeks. It was 2 to 3 weeks. He could not get her to sign. So he stopped messaging me after a couple of weeks or talking to me. So after a week or two, I decided to go to the house. I knocked at the house. It was a pretty bad house. She had dogs and everything. The house was falling apart. I spoke to her and she's like, are you interested in selling your house? I'm a cash buyer, this and that. And she's like, oh yes, I want 133,000, just like that. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, that's awesome. Okay, can you show me the house, this and that? But she would not sign the contract with me either. She was like, okay, give me some time, write it down, and then I will follow up with her constantly. So I told her, what's going on? Oh, I have some guys, the insurance company is going to pay for the roof to repairs. I think she was just getting other quotes. I asked her, what's going on? Do you want to sell it or not? Pretty much. And she's like, yeah, I got to offer 160,000. This was me during work hours too. So it's like, if I come after work and I beat that price, will you sign the contract tonight? And she's like, yes. So I drove her over there. It was like in the winter, during the winter. So it gets dark over here quick. So it was about 6 o'clock. It was dark. I walk in there. there's not much lighting in the house either. So I told her, if I buy it for 161, will you sign the contract with me? And she's like, yes. So that's what I did. She signed at 161. So I had 15 days inspection period. I took contractors there. It was my first time doing all this. So I took a bunch of contractors there, like every day, different contract, getting different bids. And I knew I had a deal. After a while, taking so many people, and she's like, what do you think? Because I had foundation issues. She asked me, is it too much on the repairs? And I told her, yeah, it's a little tight. Her on her own, she said, I'll take 133. So she dropped almost 40 grand on her own.
Was it because she realized, wow, these repairs really are extensive? Or, I mean, that's a big drop to just come down $40,000.
I think I also helped her out with a vehicle. I had a $1,000 car. Her car was leaking oil and everything. So I told her, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got a car you can borrow meanwhile. Yeah. And it was kind of, I think it was the same day or the day before I did that for her. And I think that motivated her. I ended up like helping her out. And
you're going the extra mile. So you're trying to show her that you're there to help, cars. And so you were able to take something you're good at and help her with a car situation. And, now she's feeling like that law of reciprocity where she wants to then see you win. She's trying to give back to you now. And I mean, that's just the golden rule, right? When you do good to people, good things come back to you.
Yep. I totally agree with you. Yeah. So I got on, we closed on January 4th, but she needed time to move out, money. So I let her stay for 30 days.
I remember talking to you about how to do a rent back. Yeah.
Yep. I held $10,000 on escrow until she moved out, and she did. She moved out on February. So that's when I started my flip.
How did you finance it, Ed? What was your financing?
I used hard money lending. I believe because it was such a good deal, they fund 90% of it. Okay. Even though it was my first time, I came up with an extra 10%. And also I had to pay for all the rehab costs out of my pocket.
So they did 90% of purchase, no rehab.
Correct.
Okay. So you put the 10% down. So 10% down on the 133, and then you funded the rehab as well with your own capital, or did you borrow money for that?
My own capital, and I did borrow some money from, I believe it was my parents that I borrowed some money because I was tight. After the flip was done, I was broke.
Yeah. You were tapped out.
Yeah, I was tapped out, but I knew the reward was coming. So
yeah. And so what'd you spend on the rehab?
I believe it was about $65,000.
Okay. And how big was this house?
1,500 square foot home.
Okay. So you bought it for 133, spent 65. So you're all into this thing for 190 something, almost 200, right? And then 2 months on the rehab, which is awesome. I mean, that was hauling. Did you have any connections, or was it find contractors from scratch? How'd you get your rehab done so quick? Yeah,
I mean, I'm a kind of guy, I'm a hustler. So I used to buy ugly cars and fix them up and sell them. Once you get going, like I'm trying to find contractors and stuff, you start talking to people. Once you find one, you ask them, okay, what do? You do flooring? Okay, do you know any people that do showers or kitchen and roofing? Oh yeah, I got these numbers. So I got those numbers from them. And then from them, I got more numbers and just kept calling people because they know 5 people, and then those 5 know other 5.
That's one of the best ways to find contractors is referrals from your existing contractors.
Correct.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite strategies to find new contractors, because what happens is when contractors work on a job site and they meet other contractors, they're not going to refer that contractor unless they really like them, they got along with them on the job, they think they're a good contractor, right? So your good contractors are going to refer other good contractors. So awesome. Right. So you knock out this rehab in 2 months. You're all into this thing for right around 200. And then what happened?
I was speaking to realtors first to get a flat fee and not pay that much. This realtor came and she said, yeah, I can do a flat fee, this and that. But she told me she came in with her comps around the neighborhood and stuff. And she showed me other houses that weren't even relevant to my flip. My flip was completely brand new. Roof, new HVAC, new flooring, new everything, windows, doors, you name it. This was a complete renovated house. And she was showing me other comps. So she told me she thought my house will sell for 280, 290 tops. And I told her, no, I want to list at 379. And she's like, oh no, if you're going to list that high, I can't help you. So I ended up listing it for sale by owner.
Did you put it on Zillow by owner, or where'd you
Yeah.
put it? Yeah, Zillow by
Zillow.
owner. Okay. And that created some interest. You got calls from that.
Yes.
Okay. Were they buyers agents or just buyers direct?
Buyers direct, because I found out that buyers agents, because I'm doing it for sale by owner, they get their clients and they're like, no, let's not look at that one. Yeah, they tend not to steer the ones to your.
And Zillow doesn't promote it real well because they have it on a separate tab. How many showings did you have before you got your offer?
5. I got someone that offered full price, but they were gonna get it through a loan. It was a conventional loan and everything. And the next day I told on, I'm not gonna accept this yet because I got someone else coming from California. You know, California people, they got cash. So
Yeah.
he didn't have cash, and he came and looked at it and he offered 370. And I told him, well, you know, I got an offer for 379. I can't do 370. He's like, I'm cash. I understand that. I was like, I'll meet you in the middle. I'll do 375. And he agreed. He loved the house. He bought it for 375.
Cash. And so that baby netted, what was it? After everything, paying off your financing, closing fees, you saved on commissions, 165.
Yep. 165,000 on my first one.
165 on your first deal. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so incredible. I mean, isn't that so fun? Good for you.
Yeah, it isn't.
There's the closing statement. Yep. Copy of that check right there.
Check, closing statement right there.
Ed, this is phenomenal because like most people, like me included, you know, my first deal was a $6,000 wholesale deal, right? Now that could have been, to me, that was all the money in the world because I did it, you know?
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. I mean, to do your first deal and make 165,000 on a fix and flip, absolutely amazing. When that happened, what was your process to go with your job? Did you keep the job? Were you like, hey, let me do another one? What were you thinking?
Well, when I took the fast track going back to September 2020, Tom, he's like, Ed, you're in a good spot where you're mentally and everything ready to quit your job, you know? He told me that. And I was like, I was afraid. I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot.
It's a big step. Yeah.
He got me thinking a lot. And as soon as I got my first one under contract, I talked to my wife and I told her, you know what, I'm just gonna go all in. Like after this one, like no looking back. I'm not coming back. I'm gonna go all in. So January, when that one closed, I put my 2-week notice as well.
Nice.
Been there for 11 years and I was making decent money.
Yeah.
And yeah, I put in my 2 weeks. Everybody was surprised. They didn't think, yeah, it was a big shocker to everybody.
Dude, that's a special day. You did your first deal, made 165, and then fired your boss. And here you are on the path to financial freedom. You told me that your goal is to become a millionaire. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Ed, there's some comments here that say you're a flipping genius. So yeah, guys, leave a comment and say, Ed, you're a flipping genius. That's so cool. So excited for you. So then you did your second fix and flip. Now this one was like a normal fix and flip, right? You made 45,000 on that deal, which, you know, a 40K fix and flip is amazing. That's awesome in and of itself. Let's skip that one and let's go to your third deal. Your third deal is the home run deal. I mean, the first one was a home run deal. This was like a grand slam deal. Yeah. And so let's talk about your third deal. How did you find deal number 3?
MLS.
Okay. So it came up for sale on market. Double dip with the agent on that one?
Yes, double dip.
Okay. So went straight to the listing agent, let him represent you. He got both sides of the commission. And that one you purchased for what price?
At $308,000.
308. And again, this is in PRESCOTT, so 308. How big was your rehab on this one?
Pretty big. I think I spent $80,000 on this one.
Okay. Yeah. So not terrible. I mean, you can easily spend 100 plus on a rehab. So you go in there and you spend 80. Again, how'd you finance that one? Same thing? Combination of. Same thing.
Well, that money that I got back, till now, I don't spend that money on myself. I just keep investing it and acquiring properties as well. So I got the same thing. They funded 90% of it. I had to pay on the rehab out of my own pocket.
How long did that rehab take you?
2 months.
And now you've got some leverage, right? Because you're going back to contractors and saying, got another one. The more you rehab, the easier it gets because you start to build a team, you start to understand cost, and it just gets better and better. Now, it's never perfect because every time you rehab a house, there's unforeseens. I mean, I've done 1,000 of them, and every time I'm like, well, didn't anticipate that happening, right? Because you're tearing into an old house, and that's just the nature of the game. So you go in now, you're all into this thing for right around 390, close to 400, and knock it out in 2 months. And this is the exciting part. You put this thing up for sale for how much?
I ended up listing it for $725,000. The views are amazing on this property, and I knew that those views were going to sell this property. And I'm proud of my flips too, so I take pride of them. I don't do just lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Mine are good and clean, nice and clean, I would say. So we listed it for that much. First day on the market, we got an offer for $625.
That's quite a bit lower than your list. Okay.
But I knew some people were interested. My realtor told me, you know what, Ed, let's just wait. Let's see what the market will tell us. Let's not take this one yet. And good thing I took her advice. I had more showings. A lot of people were looking at it. After three weeks, same one that did the $625 offer came back and offers $650. And I counter at $670, and they took it.
Yeah, they wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah, they really wanted it. So, and I guess they've been looking at buying property in that area for 4 years, and they could not get anything because everything will sell just too quickly. Yeah, $670. I sold it for
$670 on a sale price, which means after your purchase, after your rehab, after all your costs and fees and everything else, $230,000, right?
Yeah.
$230,000 guys on his third deal. So think about this. 165 on the first one, 45 on the second one, 230 on the third one. Yeah, show that baby right there. For a total of $440,000 on Ed's first 3 deals. I mean, absolutely phenomenal, Ed.
Yeah.
You are a flipping genius. I mean, this is what you can do in this business. It's so exciting. Now, I do want to talk about a couple things here. You cannot hit those type of numbers if you don't go up in your ARVs, right? If you're staying down there in the $100,000, $200,000 price point, I don't care how good of a deal you get, there's only so much room where you can make margin on your profit. But you start pushing into the 400, 500, 600, almost 700, and now you can start to really create some monster spreads. You'll never get that if you're not in the game. You're in the game, and so now you're at the right place at the right time. Try to explain the emotion of doing one deal and making $230,000. What is that? How can you explain that to somebody?
I don't know. It's just thank God, thank my wife for supporting me.
Yeah.
It was just exciting because I didn't expect it to make the 230,000.
So I love something you're doing here, Ed. You've done these 3 deals, made $440,000. What I love about what you're doing is you're reinvesting your profits back into your business, and you're reusing those reserves. So one thing that's been really amazing in my own journey is being able to recapitalize my profits. So when I'm able to self-fund a deal or part of a deal, now I'm taking my money and it's working again in another deal, which means the 10, 12, 14% interest I would be paying, I'm now earning because I'm not paying it. So if I'm not paying it, I'm earning it. It allows you to then reinvest into new deals, do bigger deals, do more deals, and really just take your business and skyrocket.
Yes.
Because you've got means now, you've got access, you've got capability to then do more. I want you to share something. You said there was a point here, I don't remember which deal it was, that you were so broke that you couldn't make your payments. You were borrowing money just to kind of survive. What was that period like?
It was tough, especially for my wife. But
what deal was that on?
It was after my second flip.
Yeah. Okay.
That one I had the second flip and this last one rolling at the same time, and I had to pay out of pocket to keep them going to finish the one on Robinson. So I was completely broke. I was asking my brothers for money. So both of my brothers lent me 30 grand, both of them, and I had to ask more private money, 40,000. So I was in the negative $70,000. But I knew I was gonna pay everybody back, and I was gonna make money. It was a little stressful, but I knew I was gonna come out of this.
The thing is, Ed, is when you push yourself and you put yourself in that uncomfortable place, that's when you experience the most growth. It's when you're out of your comfort zone is when you're going to have the most growth. So I'm proud of you for pushing yourself, right? Getting in that uncomfortable place. You cannot grow in this business if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, and you're putting it on the line, right? And you've proven to yourself that you'll come through, that you'll figure it out. You've got this no quit attitude. I remember, Ed, one time I was in situations like you were, where I had a couple deals going on and I just overmaxed myself. I was counting on money coming in that wasn't there yet. And I remember like, I don't know how I'm going to make my loan payments on these deals. And I had to kind of like put everything on hold a minute, go find the deal and wholesale it for like 10 grand just to be able to make my payments that were coming up in a couple of weeks. And it was so stressful. And I was like about to lose my mind. But then I came through, I figured it out. You know, you figure things out when you push yourself up against the wall. I tell people, go get a good deal and have no idea how you're going to finance it. And you'll find the money because you're up against the wall. That's how you'll find the money. But if you're not up against the wall, you'll never find the money because there's no urgency. You haven't pressured yourself. Pressure yourself and you'll figure things out. It's amazing how resilient you can be.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with these deal that I got right now. I told my wife, I put $10,000 earnest money deposit and a 4-day inspection. And you're right. Like when you're in a situation where you know you have a good deal, you're going to do whatever it takes to close on this.
So Ed, super proud of you. Congratulations. You are a flipping genius. What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned, or what's the biggest thing you could share with somebody listening that's maybe, you know, at the beginning trying to do their first deal?
My biggest thing I've learned is taking action. If there's a lot of people that they're so smart. I know a lot of people from Fast Track, they're really smart. They have everything in their mind to do it, but I feel like they're not taking action. A lot of people that I talk to, I'm just do it. You'll not regret it. Even if you fail, you will learn so much from that you will gain. And if you really want it, you're going to keep going and get it.